Yeah, there we're live.
There you go.
So, just to get this out of the way, by no, I'm gonna put like a quick introduction. No? So, welcome to the FB live stream of 032 Conversations. You can also listen to this as a podcast on 032.com. There are over 100 interviews on the site, so feel free to listen. Today's guest is Joey Seno, music enthusiast, food enthusiast, manages Sminak Kitchen. By the pictures look really good.
Thanks, man.
Bike enthusiast, nature guy. Welcome, Joey.
Thank you, Carlo, for having me. Hello, everyone.
So,
Okay, na.
how
Oh, the
are you,
audio is
Bay?
kind of yeah, good, man. Like hard times, huh?
Yeah, Bay. Grabe, oy. Karon like kanang. So usually I ask everybody when I do the podcast now, how are you? And yeah, it's kind of like it has this like really heavy meaning right now. Okay, there are some people good nga, who are just having a hard time. Like me
Correct.
mismo,
Yeah.
I haven't had like, yeah, I haven't had a good week, but like I'm okay. But murag, it's just I just don't feel great, ba?
Mm-hmm.
No.
The bad thing is when it's like
So
yeah, when it slowly
yeah, ba?
creeps
How
on
musta man
you
ka?
and just trying to go and stay positive, healthy. I do a lot of skipping ropes, at least maybe at least 30 minutes in a day.
Did you say skipping ropes?
Yeah, I
What
do.
did you say?
Yeah, jump ropes. We
Ah, mo
together
ba?
with yeah, we do it. Para lang kuan ba? Like um I had these two jump ropes. I did boxing before, like way back in the gym. Then like I thought of I thought I had two jump ropes at home, so I got it out. Then yeah, we just started skipping. And it's actually quite very helpful for your health. It's very aerobic. It gives you a lot of helps your endurance, stamina, stuff like that. And yeah,
I cannot buy. Like I can't get the rhythm for it.
oh come on, man, you're a musician. You have it, man. I'm telling you.
I know, but like kanang you know what I'm saying ba? Like mas maigo siya sige sa akong legs. I can't get the right height. I don't know why. Murag
No,
naglisod
no.
ko.
Yeah, just keep on going and you'll get the proper rhythm. I also have, of course, everyone has it, like like di ko na siya, you can't get it right there and then, but it's not that hard anyway. Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah, but
Muna siya,
I
do
noticed.
some ropes.
Hmm.
Then
Yeah, I
yeah,
noticed it's very important to keep like fit good now, okay, murag, especially if you're just home ba.
correct. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's it. Avoid too much social media.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I think
you, you
you,
get a lot
you're
of negative energy from just lying down or sitting down and watching all the news, go- what's going on around, not only in your country but around the world. And yeah, it's just too much sometimes. So get out, do some ropes, eat healthy.
pero bay, so usually when I do these interviews, I usually like do a very fast kind of research ba, no? And yeah, one
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
things that I do is I go to the person's Facebook page and then I just scroll.
right.
And yeah, if you look at your page, it's kind of depressing, huh? Kanang.
I knew you'd say that. Man,
Di ba?
I don't know, man.
Like
Like I'm very
posting like
reactive.
news. Oh,
That's
okay.
why I'm mentioning this because I'm a very active person and I'm trying to avoid that. But you can't just avoid, like getting your phone, like you when you lie down, it has become a norm right nowadays to just get your phone and scan and and like if you're a very reactive person, the first thing you do is what the and then you start posting it and doing status stuff.
Yeah, bay, kaya I was looking at kay, yeah, that's why in a way it's really depressing right now kay it's hard to find naman sa to like even on your feed na may a little bit of positivity, let's say kay you posted like music kato na kay video you're playing the piano,
Oh yeah, of course,
no?
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
but it's just hard. It's just hard right now. And it's especially frustrating if you start looking at like, you know, government and how they're dealing with everything and but I know you don't want to talk about that too
No,
much.
it's okay, really. I mean, anything that, I mean, we could talk about anything, right? Of course.
Oh yeah, yeah. So what's our money by?
See, Iko,
Eh,
I'm like, yeah, I have some musician, like, Bobby, right?
yeah,
Jay Martino.
of
Yeah,
course.
so, yeah, he was posting once, like, like, I have not touched my guitar since, how many days now. These are the reactions of people, but even musicians who love their music don't even want to touch their instrument anymore because I think it's part of dealing with the depression of of these times. But anyway, we don't really wanna focus too much on that.
Well, yeah, no, but like
Yeah,
so I want one of the things I want to talk to you about also is kind of like biking, right?
right,
But
right.
for me, like that's one way for me to like literally disconnect good. You just go up, go on a bicycle, disappear for 3 or 4 hours. It's very
Mm-hmm.
easy to do that on a bike and not look at your phone the whole time ba, no?
Right.
but
Mm.
of course we're on lockdown so we can't I mean I can't do that. uh
More lagi.
I'm afraid to get like caught by the police and yeah, ipalimpyo pa lang kog SRP or something. So I don't want to do that. So I'm really just waiting for the 15th and just seeing what kind of announcement will happen in a 15th or 16th, no? If wala announcement 16th, bike ko diretso bahala na.
Me too, boy. Uh, Sakto said. I just bought the bike, right?
Yeah, man, I saw that.
Yeah,
Wait,
so
before we get to that, sige, before we get to that. So I wanted to point out one time kana me and my wife we were in the car. Dugay na ni months ago. And we were just driving. So and then she goes, "Oh, it's Joey Seno." Then I looked at you and then you were on a bicycle. And upon closer inspection it was like that small electric bike,
oh yeah,
no?
it's it
And
yeah.
and I remember because I when I was first getting into cycling, when I didn't have a bike yet, and I only wanted to buy a bike for commute, and then I'm pretty sure I looked at a very similar bike, like it was in Lazada or something. It's like 25,000 pesos, something like that.
Right,
And
right.
yeah, di ba, I don't know if you can remember, nakita ta in Paradise Village.
Yeah, I still remember. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, "Bay, I want to try this bike." Kaya nga na, ba? Kaya I really almost bought it. I'm curious, Bay, what made you decide to bike commute?
Okay. So let me start. So I discovered the freedom of biking when we're seven in the family, and our eldest, Lord, my brother, we used to have BMXs as kids. So he would drag me along, and both of us with my other brother Jandy, and like at the age of 9, 8, naabot mi og waterfront,
Ah, from Escario,
from yeah, from
from
Iscario Dapit, and it felt I it the freedom was there. I felt the freedom, and I said, oh, you can actually use the bike to get far places, like that. And so when we were a bit older, my first mountain bike was an GT Aggressor.
Oh,
Yeah,
what's that?
so
Okay.
no, it's a GT, the brand GT.
Oh, so like 90s ne.
Yeah, 90s na siya. And then so moto akong start going up the mountains, hills, stuff like that. Then nawala na. That's suddenly when I just recently, maybe 3 years ago, I did an experiment because I I was employed around Mandaue area that time, and I was like, every commute, every time I take my car, it would take me oh no, when I go home maybe around an hour to go home. Yeah, my gas expenses was a bit high. And I was like, I'm alone in my car. I'm wasting money and I'm wasting time. And I was like, uh, I recalled like, like, man, the bike would solve this problem, think stuff like that. So I started looking through the internet and I saw this electric bike, electric assist. It's not pure electric. And then I told myself like, if I could like compute how much I spend a day, and then like divide the total number, the total sum of this bike. So I think I computed it around a year that I could pay the whole bike versus the gas expenses that I had in a day, every day for the year. I think it was a year, my computation, if I could recall correctly. So yeah, I did it. But of course, there are days that like the race just really hard, or you have to carry something and it does not fit in your bike rack. But it really felt good. Going back to the bike, I decided on a electric assist bike because you don't want to get to work sweating, and uh,
Yeah, that's the other thing. I remember seeing you on the road, and then
yeah,
at that point, I had already been commuting quite a bit. And then I
right.
realized very quickly, murag dili ni pwede mag-pants. Like, di ko pwede like, I didn't have an electric bike, so dili ni pwede nga mag-jeans ko. I wore jeans once, niya murag, it was a mistake. like, di good mada. And
Right.
so I remember seeing you, and then you were wearing like a polo shirt, slacks, leather shoes. I think I forgot what it was, but obviously you were going to an office, ba? And I was like, oh, Murag, that electric bike.
Yeah, man. Like, oh, kanang dili. You don't actually perspire a lot, and then you can connect your phone to the bike, and it computes your calories burned. And actually, you don't really burn a lot with that bike, which is the bad part.
But you're moving. I
Yeah,
mean,
but you're moving, and you're not spending so much money on gas. You're not wasting your time. The average time that I get, I would save like around 20 minutes or 30 minutes going home. And I don't have to pay for insurance. I don't have to renew my bike. Uh, so it's not only freedom that I felt with time. It's also the freedom financially, more financial. I'm not tied down to a lot of risk. Like for example, what if you bump on somebody else's car, or you come into a certain accident with your car? Stuff like that. But also on the other side of the spectrum, like for other people, like when they ask me, they magbike ready ka? I said yeah, and then they'd say it's dangerous, stuff like that. It's very hot. Magsingot ka. But it's there's too much negativity that is attached on the bike. For me, I don't. I, I'm not an expert on surveys or whatever. But if you come to think of it, when you see the news, you don't really see people, or you don't really see headlines like someone got hit or died in a bike or uh, got into a very bad accident on a bike in a bike. But that's just me, okay? There's no. It's not factual. It's my opinion.
No, you know what I did by. So
Mm,
when katong I before I decided to buy a bicycle for commute, I researched like is it safe to I researched kung sa man ang safety aspect of commuting with a bicycle. And then it turns out that if you look at like pure statistics lang yun, it is
mm.
much more um it is much more dangerous to drive a car, no?
Really,
Kanang
huh?
at but the thing is lang caveat kay worldwide, no?
Mm-mm.
So
Okay, okay.
it's much more dangerous, especially if you go to like let's say in the US where they really once they go to the freeway and kusogit kay sila mo bike ay mo they to drive like it's
Yeah, yeah,
very
yeah.
fast, no? Here in the Philippines, the
Traffic
speeds
so
of the
bad.
cars, yeah, they're super slow. So
Yeah.
and then so if you get into an accident here in the Philippines in the car, it's unlikely that anything will happen to you because it's so slow. But
Correct.
majority of accidents are still car related, like by far, no?
See, so you have even gone as much as researching that. I didn't even know that. So my hunch was actually right. So
Yeah, the thing lang is that kanang you are kanang in the road you're naked. You're kanang you know,
no protection. Yeah.
yeah, in a sense, no? But
Mm.
the reality is in terms of statistics, it's very safe to be on a bicycle, no? And you
Right.
know, daghan kay benefits.
So yeah, I saw that article of yours that it was a study of Pajak something, the 2 mile,
Ah, yeah,
2 kilometer radius thing, and I actually agree
uh,
on that. Yeah, I
yeah,
have
imagine it's so small.
'di ba? If we could make this if we could make the community embrace biking more, uh, it would actually free a lot of people from financial burden, from physical problems like they have high blood or high sugar, or and it's also psychological because biking has this very good effect on you when you bike it. You just the breeze alone and the feeling of it. It's just you're floating, man. You feel like you're floating. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it does feel good. It feels good. Like
yeah,
when
and
you're just
as
going down a road, yeah, paspas, like the breeze is on you. Wow.
yeah, and I think as an invention as well, I think it's a very overlooked invention. Uh, like people right now are trying to solve the energy crisis. That they want alternative fuel. So there's Tesla, there's stuff like that, and they go spend a lot of R&D and developing products when the bicycle has been there. It's very simple, doesn't need a lot. It doesn't need fuel. It only needs a human being who has his belly filled
Mm,
to ride it and to get somewhere. I mean, I think it's a very novel invention that we tend to overlook. We don't have to go too complicated, to
yeah.
solve things. Sometimes it's just right in front of us, and we tend to just disregard it because it's a kid's toy, it's a hobby thing, it's I think it can be more than that. And
And oh yeah, so like
yeah,
in fact, kanang what I was thinking like with the bike, that's true good because for me, so I'm like you I was biking when I was a kid also. But it took me to realize in my 30s to realize nga work, oh, kanang I can just do this
Yeah.
on kanang it took me that long ba? I've been biking since I was a kid and it took me that long to realize nga mark, oh wait, this is a possibility man di ay. No? And once I started doing it, it just changed everything about my life. I saved so much money, I saved so much time. I became a much fitter person, no?
Yeah.
Which is, pretty important, especially considering the pandemic. No? Uh,
Right, man.
yeah, and yeah, the other thing I want to point out is like it's probably not for everybody, like riding the bike. Pero I think a
Hmm.
number for people like you and me who were commuting by ourselves, not really bringing anything, kanang no purpose to bring a car, but like maybe the bag is very small, or maybe not bringing anything at all except for our cell phone. Kanang that was really, you know, that's the one
Yeah,
nga.
I would agree on the limitations,
Mm,
especially on the rider. But I think a household should have a couple or at least one bike, for kana mga at least kana mga what do you call that? Can you run to the store to buy this or
yeah.
stuff like that? It can also be like a thing for errands for errands.
Betul.
Yeah.
Bye. So
So,
tell me about the your new bike. Kay katulagi, I saw a picture of it you posted.
so I'm back to being a beginner because I gravel bike is totally new to me. Uh, so okay, after the Xiaomi Qi cycle, that my electric bike, I decided to go notch higher because I said I want to be able to go up the mountains and you know go to farther places and be able to exercise and enjoy it. So when I did my research, I stumbled upon this format, right, gravel, and so I discovered that you were also doing gravel.
Yeah.
So yeah, and interestingly, the boom just started, right, with gravel bike. So maybe
Yeah,
I don't
like
know,
a
three
few
years, five
years.
years.
Yeah, like abroad a few years, but here in Cebu it's very new. Like all of a sudden, I think I made that Facebook group, that Gravel Bike Cebu Facebook group early this year or last year. Gamay ra kayo ni join.
Hundred
But
something, right? Yeah.
yeah, gamay ra kayo, but like by over the lockdown, murag now we're like at 400 something. So
Wow,
murag,
huh? 400, no?
it's like gaining some traction. I was kind of surprised.
Right.
So you
So
what
yeah,
bike did you get?
so I was in the market for a bike, and so I was, di ba, I messaged you and I was asking about the cyclocross, and I didn't know the cyclocross was a version as a racing version of the gravel. So I was ignorant then and still ignorant now. I'm
Oh, we're all
learning. But yeah, so I messaged my good friend Mark Acantilado, who's very good with bikes. He's actually a bike mechanic who came from abroad and now doing his thing here. So yeah, he introduced me to the traction Rolu. Uh, what what I liked about the bike is it's because you could fit a big ass tires with it. So right now I have 2.10 inches of tires. It came
Ay,
stock
so you have it's 650B?
650B, 650 by 52 B. So it 52
Wow. Oh yeah.
yeah, or
Yeah.
2.10 inches, and it still has space for more. So dako siya
Ah,
clearance.
okay.
And because I heard like the CX or some gravel bikes only go up to 40 cm ba na or Sorry, right? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
40
I think
mm. 40 mm at 700 700C.
Well, there are bikes by. There are bikes nga you can get 700C and then you can also get 650B. You just change the wheel set. Like my bike is like
Correct,
that.
yeah.
It has 700C now, but actually if you buy it stock, like with all the parts, it comes with 650B. No,
Oh, nice.
but
Okay.
that's big. That's big. Kaya the kind of that's the other thing with cyclocross. I think cyclocross it's really like 35, 700 by 35 ragani.
Up to 35. Yeah.
Or so that's nice with the gravel. Have you used it?
Oh, wait, I'll there's more. The hubs also
Ah,
are 15 mm. So it's
okay.
mountain bike hubs.
Mm,
So it's easy to interchange with. Actually, the bike is like a cross between a mountain bike and a gravel. So that's what I like about gravel. It's so much variety. You could do a lot
yeah.
with it, diwa. And I was like, wow, there's so much to do here. Like, so it came with a 28 to 11 T on the back, but I just recently changed it to 42 to 11.
What group set do you have?
Came with a Claris, uh, Shimano
You
Claris.
upgraded already.
Mo lagi ba off the out of the box? I already upgraded. I was like, Mark. I was asking Mark. I was like, why did it come with 28 when it's a
uh,
gravel? And it was like, because they made this gravel bike for commuting. I said, okay. But like Cebu is, we're hills, right, and mountains, and man, I can't do 28 on steep climbs. So yeah, so that's it. The front is 52-36, but I changed it to a single now at 38T. But I'm thinking of getting a 2 by again and at 36-22
wait, so
maybe.
what's your group set now?
It's a what they call chop suey. No,
Okay,
just
okay.
kidding. No, no, no. It's Clarice. It's all Clarice, but the cogs is just it's a Chinese brand. It does fine. Yeah,
Ah, so yeah, the derailleur fit? You were able to make the derailleur fit, the 1142 from the
I
Clarice?
it actually fit without the goat link, but
Ah, you put a gold
we
link also. Okay.
we decided to put the goat link anyway. So yeah.
Ah, so have you ridden it? Where have you gone with it, Nabay?
So I don't want to talk too much about where I went because because it's ECQ now
Okay.
and
So you were in your driveway lang, in your driveway, nagtuyok-tuyok
yes,
lang
it's
ka.
just around the area and I did some I did some steep climbs with it and it's good, man. Like I really enjoy it in um so if you're frustrated, like remember when we were kids, we get new stuff, we want to try it out, but you're being told by your parents, you can't go out now because it's already dark. That's how I feel right now. Like the police say, you can go out.
Yeah, but no, that's
Yeah.
that's how I feel also right now. And yeah, like I've been since honestly, I think normally I wouldn't like care too like I would risk it normally, I think. But
Uh-huh.
also like half the time I'm shooting video and I want it to be like you at least usable sa akong YouTube ba. Yeah, more mag
Right, right.
I don't wanna if I have video of me breaking rules, samot wa na gid ko ipadung.
Ayo, way, ayo.
Wala gid like my point mas gahuwat na lang ko.
Basig
Gahuwat
na
na lang
ilong
ko.
na
I've
na
only been
na
like in my village na lang.
basig na niya long arm come knocking at your door, like,
Okay?
sir.
Okay.
Anyway. Yeah, so
But that's cool, but we should go on a ride once pwede
Yeah,
na.
man.
Kanang
Like
socially distant nga ride.
your bike is very nice, man. I actually also made a research on it. Midnight Special, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like
But
it's a very nice bike.
it doesn't really, it doesn't matter,
It's
at
not
some
about the
point,
bike.
I, well, yeah, no, so like me mong good way, like once I have the thing that I want na, I don't look
Ah,
anymore. Like I don't look na good. Okay, there's always something better. There's always something that's,
right.
you get what I'm saying? Like it's a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
never ending man na siya nga process.
Right. Correct, correct.
So I try not to like look anymore. Once I got what I wanted, mo na na, like what na. Like I think the next thing I want to buy is like wheel set na lang. Like a
For
650B wheel set.
what's that on your wall? What frame is that?
Oh, that's my Jamis Renegade. So that's the one that
Whoa.
I got first. The
Ah,
Exile,
so
the affordable one.
nice. Okay, nice. Yeah. I heard it's a very nice bike.
Yeah, no, it's okay, Rabia. So I got
Yeah.
that one first, and then kana lagi you have something, and then you start looking around. You realize, this is what I really want. So I finally got the frame lang, so it's early midnight special, and then I just moved the parts, all the parts
Ah,
that I could.
nice.
I just moved it, you
Nice.
know.
What's your no? What's the size of your cogs at the back?
I think 1142 also,
Ah, nice,
1142. But I
nice.
have a two by. It's 4630. Mantinali na akong
Oh, those
front.
are big, huh? Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. It's okay. I like it. And yeah, I don't think I'll be changing it honestly. Like okay na to. It's a
Mm-mm.
GRX group set, ana.
Oh,
Nako.
nice. Yeah, GRX. Did
Yeah,
it
just
come out? So you just bought it because it just came out like last year, right?
last year.
Or
Yeah, I bought it.
yeah, yeah.
I bought it late last year.
Oh,
I bought
that's
it late
nice.
last year.
Yeah.
And yeah. Yeah, but muna, I'm not looking anymore. I don't care. Uh that's why it's very difficult for me to look at like bikes, to look at like new bikes. Okay. You know, there's always something wrong with the bike that you have, my good. It's
So
never perfect.
are you like looking at shopping and then staying away from Stephanie?
No, no,
Secretly
I'm not
shopping.
looking at the shop. I'm not looking at bikes, mate. Wala na. I'm not na. Wala na
I'm
gid.
just joking, man.
Wala na gid.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think
And
kanang what's ani, once this ECQ is over, we should message, like we'll go on a ride, something that sani ba? Nga
sige,
murag
bike, sige,
lingaw.
yeah, yeah. Sure.
Yeah. And yeah. Also, but I wanted to make sure we talked about like the gig scene, the music scene, no?
Mm,
Because I actually don't remember when I met you, by. Okay, I remember seeing you in gigs before, kanang back in Outpost ba?
right, right.
Onya,
Mm.
but I don't know if timing, when we were playing a lot, kanang you weren't playing that often. Like you would go, you had some gigs, but like not all the time. Murag, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this was it under Lux Gapon? How do you say it, by
Ah,
Lux?
Lux, Lux. Yeah,
Lux.
so yeah, Lux. Lux is like the Latin word for light, means light. Yeah,
Mm.
so yeah. Anyway, yeah, that one, huh? Um, we were not we did not frequent Outpost, but we did play in uh other bars, especially Cali 80s before in Raman Street.
Ah,
Yeah, and I was on and off, but I always loved music, so yeah, that's why I frequented Outpost because I wanted to see the bands. Um, so yeah, that's why we were acquainted there, right? With all the
mm.
other musicians.
Yeah, Murag, it's
And
this place like you just meet a lot of people all at the
right,
same time.
right.
You can't really pinpoint na the exact moment.
Correct,
You know,
like
like
daghan sa kog migo nga inana, like when I close na mi karon, and if I recall, I was like, yun sa ganito. Yeah.
Yeah, what I remember by was you were at the time, because this was years ago. We're that old. Okay, at the time you were one of the first to use like these modern kanang music instruments, kanang mga synth,
Oh,
ana, no?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're
Yeah,
always into
yeah, when back in elementary, I actually, okay, when I was like around 9 years old, I started uh studying classical piano
mm,
because my mom is actually also a fan of playing classical music on piano. And then I got left out, like all these kids, they were playing Nirvana, stuff like that, during our breaks, and only new wave music was with keyboards. So I would hear like stuff like Depeche Mode, Gary Newman, stuff like Simple Minds, but I couldn't figure out what type of keyboards are they using. Like, and then at those times there was no internet. Uh, the access to the analog synth was optimally nothing. You could not, if
yeah.
you go to, diba? If you go to a store, you'd see a Casio or Yamaha digital piano, the what do you call that? PRS or stuff like that. And
This was like
it,
in the 90s.
yeah, in the 90s. So my mom actually bought, when I was still in high school. She bought a Yamaha PRS, and I tried it, and I was like, where is the sound that makes the swishing sound, the the arpeggiation, stuff like that. It was actually later on that I discovered computer music, because one of my friends, a DJ who bought a MIDI controller, did not want to study doing MIDI anymore. So uh, he I think he sold it to me, or but anyway, I got exposed firstly to computer music before I got into analog keyboards. So mo na siya, and after that, just experimenting, gigging, that's it.
Oh, you were
uh,
using those. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's right. But if you grew up in the 90s, Murag, it was all guitar distortion driven music.
yeah, basically, yeah, the synth actually died during the 90s. So Soundgarden was on top, Nirvana, STP, Pearl Jam, everyone, with guitars were on top, and the keyboard was left in the garage, left in the attic.
Pero now, now it's different. Now it's like that's the way to go. No, kanang
Mm,
you see a lot of these, especially like I guess you could call it like bedroom musicians, especially now. No, okay, lockdown na tanan tao. Pero like
yeah, now it's really amazing. Like, you see someone who you haven't even seen just suddenly make a video, and uh, uh, a music production made but from their bedroom overnight, stuff like that. Amazing, amazing. Like, uh, but what I get approach to about is, like, they want to ask, which one do I buy? Do I buy an analog gear? Do I buy digital gear like MIDI controller? Because the market is just full of electronic stuff right now for music. It's
mm.
just crazy, crazy, crazy time right now. And whatever instrument you could think of is actually maybe in the market already. So yeah,
So what do you tell?
um,
So if people ask you how to get into it, what do you tell them? Like, what might like people ask you? So what's the most basic setup I should get if I want to start making music?
yeah, yeah. So yeah, Well, I tell them, get a good computer because the processing power of the computers nowadays are, it's already very high, and uh, the plugins or the softwares are already very good for its as a digital format. So when you look at analog, current up to date analog, it's around 30,000 pesos starting just for one keyboard. Imagine that, and like that's why I tell them it's better to just start with a computer and then go analog after if you're really into it, because I ended up I good for me because I have a brother in the States who actually supports this passion of mine. So whenever uh, I wanted something, I had access to it because I'd send money and then he send it over here, or he brings it over. And sometimes uh, I get into a what do you call that, a dead end on stuff, and I'd say I didn't really need this, and it would cost money. So it would be, I don't know, that's why I tell it would be good to research on your gear first and do not invest right away on because analog is so attractive. They say analog is really uh the go-to thing. But I would say yeah, of course analog has its sound. It's very warm, lush, fat sound, but the digital thing is really catching up. Like come to look at the digital camera. Before it was like
Yeah,
10
yeah.
MB, 10 Mbps. Oh, is it Mbps? Megapixels.
Megapixels.
Sorry, megapixels. And then it came to 15, and then it arrived to 20. Same stuff with the music, the equipment.
Yeah, there's some like I remember I talked to si Russell Manaloto kanang sa Fast Pitch, but he was talking about
Right.
kanang guitar pedals, and he uses a digital setup for his guitar pedals, and he really said, "Gamurag, honestly, by like you you can't tell the difference. You cannot for him like you can't really tell anymore if it's analog or digital." But I think I don't know how it. So this is what I was thinking about when you were saying like buy the digital. So the digital you have to plug into your computer pa, diba? And then set up the computer, put the program, and yeah, then you start playing. Is that how it works when you say
The
digital?
big the biggest investment you're gonna make on a digital platform is actually your laptop only.
Okay.
Um,
So
then you have your MIDI controller, which costs around only 5,000 for maybe a starting. There are even lesser, I know, lesser, I know, MIDI controllers, maybe around
so
3,000 pesos.
but like if you want to use the controller, you have to plug it in pa to the computer and yeah, set up the program before you
Right.
can get
So
a sound.
right, there are MIDI like Arturia. They have their own software, so it's sort of like a standalone. So when
Ah,
you
okay.
plug, yeah, when you plug your MIDI controller, then you turn on the software, then your computer becomes an instrument. But
Ah,
right now,
okay.
yeah,
Okay, what I was thinking, Magod, like one, I remember when I was younger and then really trying to learn the guitar and everything. And I noticed that if I put my guitar inside a case, meaning it was a black case, I had to put you zipper it up and under, then you put it there somewhere on the side. And then if I wanted to use it, I had to get the case, unzip it, you open it up. There was a lot of barriers from you, and then that's just opening the case. That's a lot of barriers from actually using the guitar, no? And then I
right, right,
realized that I use the guitar a lot more if I just put it there. It would just kanang, hang out naked ba. Like it would just stay there so that whenever I felt like using it, even if it was only for 2 minutes, I just get it and then it's on my lap, strum for 2 minutes, and then I put it back. And yeah, I was thinking, if I was learning and then I had if I was learning music and then I had to do the whole setup, kanang murag plug in the MIDI controller to the computer, that kanang turn it on, wait for it to boot. It's
Oh yeah, yeah.
it's kanang, and if you're trying to learn, I wonder if that's an argument of getting like just get a simple instrument that you just press a button and then it turns on and then sound comes out already without having to plug in anything.
Yeah, that's the
No.
downside of of having a MIDI controller.
Mm.
Um, but you have to make some sacrifices if you want to save save money, or
Oh yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's the downside of it, unfortunately. Uh, so yeah, they should just weigh their options, so going back to yeah, that was it. And then outpost time. Then we did a lot of gigging around, and like recently, just recently, like most recently last year. Uh, oh no, before that, like, Iba, we wanted to discuss Griddle, right?
Yeah, right. So how did so with Mr. Griddle, kanang unfortunately when you guys started Mr. Griddle, I was already like kanang it's hard for me to go to gigs, no?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
Yeah, you understand. I don't need to explain
yeah,
myself.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. No.
but but when I did get to go to a gig, I finally went like the last few months that you guys were holding
Mm,
gigs. I think I
correct.
went two
Yeah,
or three times.
yeah.
Unya, ambot ba like nindot ki siya vibe. Like it really had a very distinct nice vibe. But it didn't feel like kanang murag. So sometimes you go to gigs and then it's just like kanang
Ordinary.
just yeah, like it's everybody who's there kay murag it's just other band members kana
Yeah.
or which is fine, but like you didn't get a sense of community kaayo. Like there were places kay nga na, like Outpost was like that. That's why
Yeah.
10 years later we still talk about Outpost because it was like that. And it seemed like the gigs in Mr. Griddle had that feel, at least for me, no?
Right.
Um,
Right.
did you? I don't know. Did you feel the same thing? You've experienced a couple of generations of
Yeah.
these
Yeah. Yeah.
gigs already.
Mm-mm. Yeah. True. By like, it was a very collective. It was a collective feeling that we had. Like like the passion from the musicians, and of course, like the support that we had from the owners, Hannah
Mm.
and Lawrence. I kept telling myself, you can't, you'll never find a place good enough unless if the owners are open enough to the type of music, or like Hannah and Lawrence.
Lord. Mm.
Yeah, they go to concerts. They actually fly just to watch concerts, and that they were that type. So I was like, we are very lucky to have this support. And actually, so I want to tell you a story about how it came to be. Like, when I was out of the country, I noticed in where I was at in this country that uh, the norm for them was to give the entrance fee. We call it here, right? Ang entrance fee. They give it directly to the band, everything, like 100% of it. And I was like, uh, why can't we do this in Cebu, stuff like that? I was like, this could be a very good format for us. So when I came here back here, it was very placid. No, nothing going on. No more outposts. No more gigs. So di ba, when you drive by Manila, you see the trees of Griddle, and you see the small open area at the back. I was very curious. I was like,
Yeah.
open ba kani sila for stuff like this, no? So eventually, I got a meeting. I got an audience with Lawrence, and we discussed about it. And it was just an open thing, like, okay, let's just try. Let's just try. Maybe, who knows? Yeah, by like everyone. So I made a meeting with Bobby, Jay Martino Alvido of Sunday Sunday. And Bobby is a very passionate guy for music. He has connections to all the bands. And you know what? I had my I have my music equipment and sound system just in the garage, stacked up. That's why I wanted to look for a place, because I was like, I could do setup, and we could do it in over the weekends, you know. So I did a meeting, and everything was on, and then before we knew it, it grew like mushrooms, man. Like uh, we would post a gig on Wednesday for the upcoming Friday the same week, and we would have an outcome of maybe 80 to 100 people, sometimes more. I was like, what the? And all proceeds, all the entrance fees uh, at Griddle was given to the artist. And I like this format. I want to expound on that because the artist actually, uh, you know, they get. I said, the artist actually asks, uh, is the one who dictates the entrance fee. So I would say uh, the artist should know how much they're worth. If they say 10 pesos per head because they're still new, if they say 100, if they can pull it off, why not? Because at the end of the day, the challenge should be given to the artist, not the bar. And
Mm.
'di ba? Like, you should challenge, so the water becomes more challenging and not placid, and the artist becomes challenged, is pushed to do more. So, you know,
So y- so katong like kami we played. I actually had the pleasure of playing one Mr. Griddle or
two
two
man,
Mr.
two.
Griddle gigs. Yeah, two di ay. No?
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah,
it's like I came out of retirement. Oh yeah. No? And then
yeah.
like, I was so shocked to saying Hamburg, oh, kind of like in the end of the night, ba, money in yung cut. I'm like, huh? Kaya nga good. It's so foreign at the time. And then like, so we talked a little bit about Outpost, but one criticism from Outpost is that they never did that. No, they
Yeah,
never
yeah, yeah.
did. And then it's arguable that kanang it might have they obviously did a lot for the scene for music, but it's
Hmm.
arguable that in a way it also set it back by not doing that. No, okay, just having.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't a lot. Like you can't make a living out of it, but there was kanang even if it's just a little, it makes a huge difference. Kanang once you pay the bands, no, once they
correct,
receive
correct,
hard cold cash, no,
correct. Yeah. Because the the normal trend is, for example, in a scenario, if there was no one in the bar, the band would say, let's just perform anyway, we're getting paid. So there's no
mm,
passion, man. Like, diba? Uh, but if you give all the entrance fee to the band, they would invite and they would practice their asses off, because they'd say, you know what, we're asking for 70 pesos per head for this. We have to perform well. So see the difference. So yeah.
oh
So
yeah, well, oh, I'm sure. Although I can't like when we played there when I played there, I my mindset was like I haven't played in years,
oh,
so I was very nervous.
you guys were rocking, man.
Oh, it was
You
super
rock
fun.
that place. Yeah,
Super
yeah,
fun. It was really fun. Pero it was kadang wow, like it was really it was a really really good environment, and I also think it's possible that you guys got a lot of traction right away because there really was kanang a hunger for that type of gigs at that time, especially I think.
That's the
No?
correct word. Yeah, yeah. The musicians were really hungry. Um, and I think there's a total shift in how we see originals nowadays, because like back in the 90s when you play your originals, what happens next is you're given a paper and they would request Eagles or
Mm.
stuff like that. Like, nowadays, you get a lot of praises when you do your originals, and people are getting more competitive with the advent of technology, streaming. We get to see a lot of tutorials over the internet. Yeah, so yeah, it's a good time, man. It's a good time. I think it's a good time, except for this pandemic. But
Yeah.
it's a bit.
Kada
Yeah.
ba ba? So kadang you've been going to gigs like, like I said earlier, we're two old guys. So we've been
Yeah.
going, but the interesting thing with you is that you've still been going to you've been going to gigs like recently also, ba? Do you notice like differences in terms of like this generation's music as opposed to before?
Oh, Juan. Yeah, that one, huh? That's a tricky question, but um, the this generation, they also dig the past music. Like, they still are into Beatles. They still are into new wave stuff. Like, uh, the very well produced, uh, analog time. Like, they still listen to it, Fleetwood Mac, stuff like that. So I don't think they're missing a lot in terms of the uh, independent production stuff, or the independent style of making music. Uh, I think, although the commercial side of it is also getting in getting in the way. Sometimes it's mixed, and
Kada murag,
a
it's
yeah.
like I noticed I sometimes talk to some of the younger artists, and having grown up in the 90s, like you, I think kanang there was a level of the way we wanted to do it was just there was just a level of like authenticity was like a real thing, no?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah, yeah,
saying?
yeah.
But now it's like it seems like they know mga the formula. They know nga like there's a formula, but like they know that the songs shouldn't be this long, that you only
Oh,
have this
yeah,
many
yeah, yeah.
seconds to catch a person's attention. uh they know how to market the song in many ways. They're a lot smarter than our generation, like a lot smarter, good, no?
They call
But
it the
I wonder,
ADHD generation.
mo lagi,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
the thing is they know mo good, like like kita ba eh, when I was in high school making music, I was like, you know I had no idea what to do. Now you can have a high school kid who knows how to get his music on Spotify, how to market it, where to
Right.
go, and and that's great. But also, I wonder if it's also kanang I, I'm trying not to also like sound like an old person, like an old person,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
reminiscing.
I think I know where you're
But
getting at. Yeah, yeah.
so I wonder if that's gone ba, or just making it for the sake of. But to be fair, there's also a lot of younger guys, man, who are just doing that. Like they just love making music, and whatever comes out. No,
Mm, yeah. Some people are just kuan, uh it's plain and natural for them. I'm a nervous dude, so sometimes I tend to overdo it. But in terms of production, uh, yeah, there's the downside with technology. For example, like photography, like before, or DJing before, like who could afford like turning turntables? Who could afford a very good camera before? But now you when you go to a wedding, everyone's shooting. Even phones can be used for photography and DJing. And anyone's a DJ nowadays. You can just download the music. So that's the downside of technology. And but the good thing is it's more challenging for creatives to show themselves to be natural because of all these simple ways of all these hacks going on.
Mm.
So must challenge sila to be more uh, passionate, to show their their true self through their music or to their expression. But so yeah, it's good that you don't get carried away with all these technology and stuff, and just be honest with your music. And if it's just one note and one chord all throughout your music, just one chord until it finishes, why not? You know.
Yeah.
And yeah.
One of the things that I noticed in a Mr. Griddle gig by was that kanang all of the bands seem to sound different. Do you get what I'm
Mm,
saying? Which is
yeah,
great. Like
yeah.
kanang like so you have like a certain sound and then like the next band can work lahi kayo and then the next band lahi kayo because there was a time nga murag the music the bands anyway they all kind of sounded the same. There was like a template,
Mm,
no?
mm, mm, mm.
And then now it's like lingaw kayo just because you don't know what you're gonna get
Right,
between
right.
sets.
That's correct,
No, at
man.
least
Totally surprised. Even
oh.
me. I
Mm,
have I have to give it to J Martino Bobby, because he was the
mm.
one who curated all the events. So yeah, he was the one with all the contacts with all the bands. So he would jot down all the lineup for the coming gig, and it gets approved. The merch would come up and gets approved. Just a very simple. But si Bobby good na ang kuan, he was the one who curated all the lineups, and it was a very good. I know. You know what? Even musicians, they uh, they volunteer to be at the gate to guard the gate for the entrance fee. Some musicians, they volunteer to be logistics, or the band support behind the stage. Grabe ba,
Ah, ba?
that was, yeah, that was like a community movement. Grabe ba, it was like I was very very sad to see it got cut off because their contract was not renewed. And and then this came. We were lucky enough not to continue because the pandemic came as well. But
Yeah, well now nobody is having
yeah, yeah,
Pero
yeah,
what na
yeah.
good. Karon there's a real hunger na good like
Oh man, yeah. Grabe gid
ah
bito.
yeah,
So yeah,
but
that's
like
it, man. Uh, but it was a very good short time. I mean, for me, bahala na. It was short lived, but it was very memorable and very rich, colorful. Yeah.
yeah, the reason why I thought it would be also important good to talk about it is so that in the future once we can start having gigs again, then somebody can see the blueprint of how it was done with you guys and hopefully of course a lot of things went right when you guys did it in Mr. Griddle. As you mentioned, the owners were a huge part of it. You were willing to do the work, of course, and then of course Bobby, who was just connected to the scene, and then the fact
Mm-mm-mm.
that you wanted kanang the door fee was a huge thing. You guys even had free alcohol for the musicians,
Yeah,
no?
that was
The,
that was
which I did
lethal,
not.
man.
I did not. When I saw it, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to drink that. I'm gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna buy my beer.
Right, right.
Like di ko kainom ato.
Wako kay no matusan.
Amo ba?
Yeah, not my. I can't do it anymore. Tanduay man, no, I can't.
Yeah, when I saw it, I'm like, yeah. Pero kana ba, like,
But the
I think,
mm,
yeah, like I want somebody like when all of this is over, at least if they want to recreate that whole situation, then they kind of know how. No,
yeah,
what were you
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
say? Sorry.
yeah. No, no, I'm listening.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, Mona. That's all I sorry, had in mind. Okay.
Yeah, sakto. If yeah, maybe somebody who owns a bar in the future, they're looking, they're streaming your 032, and maybe if they wanted to inject that backyard sessions from Mr. Griddle, yeah, why not?
But the
Uh,
other interesting thing that Mr. Griddle wasn't a bar. Like it was just it was like
burger place.
it was just a burger place, and then and then at night it just transformed. It wasn't even a bar. Like I wouldn't say it's a bar. It would be like a gig place. No.
Man, I was really until now, I'm still at awe with all the effort and the passion that people really injected into it. It was not only Bobby and me and Hannah and Lawrence, but it was really the whole movement. It was like a movement. It was a movement, man. Like grabe good.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. Well, hopefully in the future, once this pandemic is over, somebody, maybe you guys, Gihapon, can find a spot that
Oh
can
yeah, yeah.
recreate. By we've been talking for an hour. I
Yeah,
wanted
I
to make
noticed.
sure that we talk about Sminak Kitchen. I saw some
Oh
pictures,
yeah.
by kanang. It's like some of that, like can you describe it a little bit?
Oh yeah. So um I'm doing this. It's like a Malaysian inspired uh, dish. So it's more on chicken. And there's a sambal sauce. It's spicy chicken. There's sambal sauce. So on the side, so sambal is more like it's like a chili sauce. It's Asian. It's it's predominantly present in Southeast Asia. So it's around Malaysia, Singapore, in Indonesia. They have sambal. So I was intrigued why the Philippines, part of Southeast Asia, does not have this sauce. And oh, something's happening. Okay.
Amo na. Oh, yeah. Just
Yeah,
making
yeah, yeah,
sure
yeah,
nga
yeah,
nakitad.
yeah. There you go. So ano ko nga, uh, I was why are we like isolated from this type of dish or flavor? So the chicken has a lot of turmeric and all the other like curry. It's marinated with it. So when I went to Singapore, and I was also in Malaysia, I could not help but enjoy the food. It's one of my favorite dishes, Malaysian stuff like that. And I was like, we're just neighbors with Malaysia. We're from the Philippines, but our dish is totally different. And then so it's more. I think it's more on history, right? That our dishes were changed because of the Chinese, because of uh, Spanish, the time. So I
The
think we I think we
mm,
missed out a lot on that. So that's why I wanted to introduce that flavor. So I made this kitchen, and right now it's present in I don't know, in Food Panda and Grab.
amo ba? That's how people can order Food Panda and Grab.
Yeah,
Ana.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so it's
I
it really it's Malaysian inspired. Yeah.
even just this like the peanuts. I was looking at the peanuts by like kanang. Kani nga style ba? Ganahan kay ko ani.
Yeah, man. You know what? I'm gonna send you a set tomorrow.
Ay. All right,
Yeah,
thanks,
man.
bye.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, did you open this kind of pag lockdown? Pag
Oh, yeah. So this I soft opened December. Just in at the pension house, Florentina, and so we did a soft open until January, and then nahitabo ang kani lockdown. So fortunately, naka-sign up na ko sa Foodpanda while the lockdown was going on. So yeah, yeah. Also, maayo man ang kwan. The reception has been nice. Uh, some people even order na, and then they wanted add apps na. So I was saying they must be repeat orders because they know how to order na and what to order. Yeah. So
but yeah, maybe you should put like on your Instagram or Facebook ba, like kanang like how to order and yeah, like that's what I was curious about, like what the menu is. Kay
yeah,
I wasn't sure how to do it. Like if you wanted to order, looking at
right,
it ba.
right. Sige, I'll take note of that. That's really my negative side, man. Social media. I'm not so adept to it.
I just like right now I'm so 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 I've been like when the lockdown started, my mom also started selling like food online.
Wow. Okay.
Unya, yeah, so like what? Can we just gitudloan na lang sige daw. Like all of these things, you know?
Yeah, man.
It's
Keep the economy going.
yeah, by now more than ever, like people are just looking online and the internet, like posting on all of these these Facebook food groups,
Right.
no?
Yeah. It's
Unya,
actually fun. Not do. It's actually doing very very well. Like people are, exchanging and
yeah, no, and then also it's making it like it feels like people are more they're more willing to explore na ba like the food, no?
yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah, bye. Yeah, so man, I just wanted to make sure that that's out there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks for yeah, exposing my food.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like it, but it has this Asian yun nga taste, no?
You'll
Kanang
see
mura
tomorrow.
bye. Thank you, ha. Like
Yeah, yeah,
I am
man.
very excited. Thanks, bye. Well, anyway, I just want to recap nga the conversation a little bit. Bikes are good. uh like Mr. Griddle by I feel like a lot of people really miss that place now
Yeah,
more than ever.
shout out to Hannah, Lawrence, and Bobby, and the rest of the musicians.
Yeah. Did I miss
Yeah.
anything by anything you want to say?
To Sorry,
Oh,
to
no,
who?
is there? Did I miss anything? Is oh no.
No, no, no. No.
So where can people? What was the Instagram again of Sminak?
uh,
Sminak underscore kitchen.
you know what? I'm not so sure, but if
Sminak
if you search,
underscore kitchen.
okay, okay, there you go.
Uh, where can people find you online by?
Uh, ju- just you can order through Food Panda and Grab. So yeah, that's it.
All right.
Uh, mm. But the quiet's nice, no? The good thing about this pandemic is, the quiet, and you can hear the birds in the morning, and the air is just very clear.
Did you see that? Did you see that video? And I'm mga killer whales in Bohol.
Oh yeah, grabe, no? Who would ever thought, man, like
Yeah,
that day
Bohol.
would come? Yeah, di ba?
Yeah, I know
Grabe.
it's that's like one of the things that I realized is, of course, daghan kay negative. No, I don't know if it was on air or off air. Kato we started talking about all of the bad things that are happening.
Yeah,
Pero
yeah.
But there are some good out of this good, and that's what I was thinking about today. Goodbye, like kanang I, I I was struggling to find the good that's happening, ba, and you just mentioned it. Like all you need to do is look outside. It's a little bit quieter. There's a little bit more nature. The
Yeah,
sky is a little bluer. You know, uh, yeah, man.
yeah.
Hopefully,
Like everyone has their own interpretation of this pandemic. Some have religious, some have like I don't know, like far off beliefs. But I think it's just part of nature, and just nature's just talking to us, telling us, reminding us, that you're not the only people here. And sometimes I it comes to me that what aren't humans also viral? We are also invading the planet like a virus. So like stuff like that. Just saying.
my reflection out of this good was, for years, it was at least for me, it was just like just putting my head down and then just doing the work and just trying to grind out ba.
Mm-hmm.
And then once, at least when the lockdown first started, I was in my head came like, oh, it's a forced pause, it's a forced rest,
Right,
and
right,
it's made it a little bit easier to just sit outside and literally look up into the sky. No,
right. Well, good.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
think we
I
should
think
be more sensitive enough to listen to you know nature.
yeah, man. Well, I think this is a good place for us to end. Joe, bye. We should definitely go on a bike ride.
Sure, man.
Uh,
Sure, man. That would
I,
be
I'll let you
fun.
choose the route. I'll let you choose the route
I
when we
think you know
we
better
already.
routes than me.
Yeah, yeah, but like I don't wanna. I don't want to kill you on our first ride.
Sure, sure, sure. Of course.
I don't know what you're capable of doing.
Party pace,
you
man.
know,
Just remember that party pace. That's
Ano,
my thing.
party pace.
Yeah.
Ano. All right, Joe. Wait, thanks again for doing this, huh?
Yeah. Thanks for having me, man. More power to 032.
All right. See you. Bye.
Yeah, man. Yeah. See you. See you.
Okay. Bye bye. Bye bye.